Hello, my name is April Pearson and I'm with mountainofspices.com, and I'd really appreciate if you could check out my website at some point. But today I just wanted to show you how you can make your own batch of soap. It's very simple, anyone can do it, you just have to have a little bit of know-how, so hopefully I can give you that today. We're going to start the very basics, assuming you know nothing at all, and go straight through it and show you everything. So it might be fast, but if you have questions, you know where to find me, mountainofspices.com. Anyway, first of all, we're going to start looking at our utensils. Very important method here. You have to use stainless steel. Stainless steel is absolutely essential. Do not use anything aluminum. It will destroy the soap and your pan and pretty much everything. So you can also use plastic. As you can see, I've placed a few things in plastic here. That's okay. You can use rubber spatulas or wooden spatulas. That's just fine. However, you'll want to be careful if you use wooden spatulas because the wood will disintegrate over time. The lye will eat through it, so be careful of that. You can also use glass, but anything other than that, basically aluminum, don't use it. It's not good for the soap making process. Secondly, what we're going to talk about is the materials, the things that we are going to put into the soap. You can see here, today we're going to make a lard-based soap. It's a lot more fun to put in other oils and lots of other stuff, but today it's just going to be simple and easy. So we're just going to use regular lard that I bought at Walmart. I absolutely hate that fact, but that's life right now. We just have that kind of lard. Usually I would try to buy my lard at a butcher shop. I just found recently I can buy lard for 50 cents a pound. Pretty good deal at a local butcher shop. But anyway, you can get that. Secondly, we have lye. Lye can be kind of a difficult thing to find sometimes. But this lye here was actually purchased at Lowe's. You can get it. It's the Robic brand crystal drain opener. And as you see on the side, it says 100% lye. And that will work just fine. It's a little spendy at $13, but it'll make 5 batches of soap, so okay, we'll use it. Thirdly, we have water. The water needs to be either distilled or rainwater. Either one will work just fine. It'd be a good, today, usually I use rainwater, it's cheaper, but we don't have any rainwater today, so we got distilled. That's just fine too. Then we're going to go on and talk about our fun ingredients. These are the things that usually you can mix up, put a different stuff, whatever you want in your soap to make it your own specialized, individualized thing. So I'm just going to show you, run down a list of what you should put in there and some ideas so that you can go on with whatever you want. First of all, you need to have a preservative in your soap. Preservatives are absolutely essential because this homemade soap can mold very quickly and very easily if you're not careful with it. So the 2 preservatives I like to put in are, first of all, grapefruit seed extract right here. I put in 2 teaspoons of that, and then I also put in a teaspoon of tea tree oil. For those of you who might not like tea tree oil, don't worry about it. It doesn't come, the smell doesn't come out in the soap too badly. Then you have your fun one, the scent. Each one of us likes a scent. Even some people like the fact that they cannot put scent in if they're allergic to scents or just don't like the strong scents. Today we're going to use cedar wood, a combination of cedar wood and patchouli. I really like this musky men's type scent. It's very nice. You also want to color it. Just coloring it however you want. I like to do it naturally, and so we're going to use liquid chlorophyll today to color it green. And I have to be kind of careful about that because it's pretty strong green and it can turn it dark green very quickly. But today we're just going to try to put a little bit at a time and see what happens. And then fourthly, what I like to put in is some sort of texture. A lot of people will put in oatmeal. That's a very popular one for soap. Today, since I'm going to be making this soap for men, I wanted some sort of texture that was grainy enough to get that grime off their hands after a long day of work. So I'm going to put in cornmeal actually, and that tends to do pretty well as long as you don't put too much in. I think I have just maybe a scant cup of cornmeal there. Oh, something I forgot to mention with when we were talking about the utensils that we use, probably the most important utensil that we use is our soap mold. And you can make a soap mold out of anything. It can be a really fancy wooden box, however you want to do it. Even I found even candy handy molds will work perfectly for soap molds. But today we're just going to go simple and easy. I've used a pineapple box that I got from Costco, and I lined it on the inside with freezer paper, and presto, it's good to go. The best thing about it is that it has a lid that closes, so we're going to need that at the end of the soap making process. You can see that I've placed lots of strings dangling down from here. That's because we're doing something new with the soap today. I hate doing soap over and over, the same thing over and over again. So I've decided to make soap on a rope. And basically what's going to happen, in case you can't see it later, is that I have all these strings hanging out. I'm going to fill it, when we get the soap made, I'm going to fill it about half full of soap. And then I'll pull these strings through and kind of drop them down onto the soap, like so, and then pour the remainder of the soap on top, and presto, we'll have soap on a rope. I'm not exactly certain how it's going to turn out, but we'll wait and see, and hopefully it turns out well. We also have a couple of old towels that I've laid over there that we'll be wrapping our soap box in later. Anyway, didn't want to forget about that little detail. Then thirdly, I guess we're going to talk about the method we're going to use. There's various methods you can use. Most methods are the hot process or the cold process, and it's not that one of them is hot and one of them is cold, but rather the ways that you get to the various temperatures that you use. Basically, how those methods work in a nutshell is that you have two temperatures, one's hot and one's cold. So your oils are cold, and your lye and water solution, when they mix together, form a hot chemical reaction to each other, so it becomes very hot. So you juggle the temperatures with them using ice baths or a hot sink or whatever you use, and you juggle the temperatures until it gets to a certain range. And once they get to that range, then you can mix the two together. The method I use is actually called the room temperature method, and it goes on the understanding that if you take a hot item and you take a cold item, then they will meet in the middle, forming a neutral temperature, which is the temperature you need. kind of simple, but seems like it works the best. Some of the things that could interfere with that method, though, is it could be your room temperature. If the temperature in the room is too hot or too cold, then the method could either make your soap too hot or too cold. You wouldn't want that. So we've made our room, it's 71 degrees in here. Seems pretty warm for the winter time, but I figure it's probably about normal temperature now. Then second thing that could interfere is also your oils. Some oils work really well with the room temperature method, such as lard, because lard is such a soft oil. It just works out, it tends to work very well with this method. However, harder oils like coconut oils don't tend to work too well because they are so hard, especially if it's refrigerated. But one way that you can combat that is just warming your oils up a little bit before you start, so that they get that extra little edge on.